Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for this week's Refresh, a short chance to grab a drink, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and have a coaching session that helps you take action to move things forward in your life. So this week's session is all about boundary setting. And if you're not sure what boundaries are, very quickly, are you the sort of person who finds it really difficult to say no, who feels encroached upon, who feels that they are often at the mercy of what other people want them to do? It could mean that you end up feeling overwhelmed because you're always helping other people. It may be then that you need to set some boundaries, and boundaries are limits that you set around your time, your availability, your body, your personal space, anything that affects you, and it could be your availability. And actually taking action to protect that is very empowering, and it protects you from feeling burnt out. So if that's something you could do help with, here we go. So work-life balance is often something that gets really blurred. People overwork, their hours get stretched, they end up answering emails and working way beyond the hours that they should. And if you're happy with that, that's fine. But if it's a problem for you, this is where this exercise could help. So grab a piece of paper, and in the middle of it, you're just going to draw a big circle that's big enough for you to write inside and have space around the outside. So what you're going to do first of all is around the outside, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to start thinking about what is not okay in your working life, in what you do and how your working process fits with your life. For example, write down on the outside, what do you dread about your work? What gives you that sort of sinking feeling? What or who exhaust you and drain you in your job? What are the biggest stresses that you find in what you have to do? Where and when do you ever feel taken advantage of? And who does that? Really sort of identify those areas. What do you do in your job that you view as pointless or unnecessary or a waste of your time, but you nonetheless spend a lot of time doing it because there's either a requirement that you do it or it's a habit that you do that? Similarly to that, what do you do that is actually reasonably unimportant, but you become very preoccupied with doing it, and again it has that encroachment on your time? And what do you do that you shouldn't have to do, and actually maybe is not okay with you? So just spend a bit of time jotting down those ideas and anything else. Those were just some questions to start you off about things that are not okay with you. And then in the middle, I want you to start thinking about what is okay. So again, some questions just to sort of help you jot things down, and be specific, give examples if it helps you. What do you look forward to in your day? Who or what gives you energy? Because again, who can be an important question. What energizes you? Where do you feel safe and supported? And who, again, who helps with this? Which bits do you enjoy and they invigorate you? Who helps you or what helps you do your job effectively so that you're absolutely working at your best and you get that sense of achievement? What gives you a sense of pride and achievement and motivation? What hours are you prepared to work? What's okay with you? So you've now physically defined a boundary of things that are okay to you inside and what's not okay to you outside. And it could be that that's the first time you've even seen a physical boundary and thought about this. So now look at that list, all the things you've got written down, and identify, what do you have control over? Maybe circle those things. And what would make a difference if it really changed? And maybe ask yourself, what are you prepared to act upon to get that change? Which one thing in that outside column are you prepared to take action on? So identify that. And then once you've identified it, quickly jot down, what impact would changing this have upon you? And the flip side of that, what will happen if you do nothing? So now you've identified the consequences of taking action on the thing that you've identified to take action on. Communication is key. Without communicating what your boundary is, no one's going to know, and they'll keep on stepping over it. But actually, when people realise there's a boundary there, most people will apologise if they step over it, and most people will respect that. So you've identified something that you have control over and you want to change. So who needs to know? Jot that down. Who needs to know? And then start thinking about, how are you going to tell them? What's the best medium for you to communicate this? What are you comfortable saying? And when is a good time for you to do this? And when you've identified all of those things, the who, the what, and the how, and the when, you've got a plan. And you've already worked out what the impact of doing this is going to be and the impact of not doing this. So you've got something that you're going to change from your not okay list. Very quickly, I want you to identify something from your what is okay, what energizes you list, that you are going to try and do a little bit more of. And it's those same sort of questions. Identify it. Who needs to know? How are you going to tell them? And when? Because then you're not just stopping the nasty things in life, as the advert went, but you're actively putting in something positive. So I hope that's been really useful. 10 minutes to refresh. Remember, you can go back to this video at any time. Please feel free to share if it's been useful, or add a comment. And if you've got any ideas of topics that you'd like a quick coach on, for me to do one of these refresh videos, do let me know, because I'm really happy to help out with those. I do hope you found this useful, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.